All right, Christian,
All right.
go ahead.
So I was really fighting with these next two picks on like how high to put them, because I do really like them. But number 40, I got Johnny Gargano. If he had a better main roster run, I would probably have him higher, but he just hasn't done anything. Granted, might not really be his fault, but also just don't think he's connecting with the fans as much as he did in NXT. And even towards the ends of his NXT run, he kind of lost the fans. For me, I actually was going for him against Adam Cole in those last few matches. I know almost nobody else was, but you know, I really like Gargano. I think he's one of the best in the ring. I missed his old song. I don't like the remix or whatever you want to call
Same.
it, but the original Rebel Heart was like so good.
Um, I'll just add. Oh yeah, I already said he was honorable mention, but same. I agree with you. It's just not clicked yet.
Yeah.
One thing I think it's kind of funny that Jordan said that he went back and watched like the way stuff. That was probably Johnny's weakest stuff in NXT.
The way's hilarious, bro. Would it be the
And that was
weakest
at
for
the
me?
end. That was like on the downslope of NXT heading into 2.0. Is
Yeah.
the way.
Indy Hartwell almost made my top 50 just for the way stuff, bro.
My
I like the way stuff.
All right. Number 39. They're kind of a pair, but I feel like he edges Johnny a bit. Ciampa. I feel like, honestly, if this was just pure NXT, he's way higher. But I feel like, with his injuries, and then, like, especially since he's been on the main roster, I swear he's been on the main roster for, like, 3 years, but has had, like, totals of a month on TV, so it's just bad luck and bad booking, I guess, and then injuries. But his NXT run alone had to make his top 50 for sure.
I gave him honorable. Don't watch
Since
NXT.
Ciampa's came back from his most recent injury, he's been cutting some really good promos on social media. It really sucks that they're not showing them on TV because they're like his good NXT promos he would cut when he was the.
I'm not gonna lie, with like the recent kind of revival of NXT, I wouldn't be too mad if he went back down there and had a run at the belt.
Let's give him some time, guys. All right, come on.
He can go for another Goldie. But all right, 38. We'll get some flack for this one. Edge.
Wow. My god.
Just like with Ray, he just never clicked with me. I liked him better as the tag team than I did on his singles runs. He never did it for me. I always went like anytime he faced anybody, I wanted them to beat him, which I guess that's the mark of a good heel. But even as I got older, I'd never seen it. I just couldn't see it. Like, he's good and I respect him, but I just couldn't get invested in him as a character. And his spear sucks. It's
I'm gonna bite my tongue, man. For when I get to it. You got anything, Robert? Robert's probably right there with you.
Yeah, I'd put him up higher. He's a guy that I didn't like growing up, but like Christian said, that meant he was doing his role right. And looking back at everything, now I like how good of a heel he was. I love his hardcore match against Mick Foley. He had another match from that WrestleMania.
That's your goal tonight, Robert? Just plug that WrestleMania as many times as you can.
My favorite WrestleMania. Can't convince me otherwise.
Go on, Christian.
And yeah.
Oh, good.
Good.
all right. I feel like. Wait, what?
Go on.
Oh, I feel like I kind of did this with Ciampa and Gargano. 37. I got Christian. I feel like, personally, I enjoyed Christian's character more because he was funny. I feel like Edge was funny in the tag team, but then he became like more serious after. Rated RKO, he was funny. I'll give him that. but Christian just like was consistently funny all the time. I actually liked his TNA run. It was short, but I feel like it was pretty good. And yeah, I feel like that if it wasn't for that TNA run, because that was like peak TNA, I feel like he wouldn't have been as high on this list. But that run kind of edged him for me. Get it?
Shut up.
That's the kind of joke that I would make, and Jordan would get mad at me.
You guys know how I feel about Christian, so I'll just wait till it comes up for me.
Okay, so no, nothing else.
No.
I said nothing else from either of you.
It's not where I have him.
All right, number 36. I will admit, this is the only lady on my list. It is Bayley.
The only lady?
I couldn't.
Dang.
Like there's other ones I like, but I don't know.
Okay.
I had told Jordan the exact same thing before you got on about I don't know if I would have had a female wrestler in my top 50 just because of how many wrestlers there are.
Right,
It's
and
kind
like
of hard to.
the women have like 80% less time to make like an impact on us so far.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah. But I feel like since she was also good in NXT when I was like peak NXT and like her matches with Sasha, her matches with Becky, and then like coming to the main roster, switching her whole character up and like making one of the best heels with the best promos, and then like carrying. I feel like she was one of the biggest parts of the COVID era that no one talks about as much. Like her commentary and like dissing Michael Cole and everything. Just, like, it was hilarious. So I feel like she's definitely like in ring and out of the ring. She was like, I feel like the best female. She might be the best female wrestler ever, honestly.
Women are 10% of my list. So 5. Yeah.
I can't believe you have 5 women on there. Bayley wasn't one of them.
Almost, bro. Like, I don't know. You gotta remember, man. I was a teenager for some of these women.
All right.
The feeling is still there.
And he didn't watch NXT, Bayley.
Yeah, that's true.
I watched Banks, Bayley, Brooklyn.
Like the Iron Woman match.
Yeah.
That was a good match. But alright. Number 35. I'm sure a lot of people aren't gonna agree with this one. I got the Undertaker.
Fight him,
Again.
Robert.
What?
Again, it's just a guy I couldn't like. He's good, and I get he's a legend, but I feel like he had a very short run where he was actually that good. Especially like I've just from 1996, I'm all the way into almost like a midway through 2002, like peak of a lot of Undertaker stuff, and I don't know, man. I don't get why everybody, I don't know, puts him so high. He had a good character, and it's one of the like best characters I guess you could come up with. But I feel like there's a lot of cringy stuff in there. And like he didn't really start having these great matches everyone remembers him for until like 05.
Is that all you had to say? I don't fully disagree with you. So like, obviously Taker made my top 50 as well, but I'm not gonna. I'll further elaborate on that.
Yeah, I can wait until Jordan's Undertaker to elaborate more.
Okay.
Some of these I don't know when to elaborate. Like, talk about them lower or wait until higher on the list.
That's fair.
I guess I'm more chiming in of where I feel like I would put them as well.
All right, number 34. Definitely tell I'm alone on this one. I got Christopher Daniels. His TNA run was just like some of the best matches I've ever seen to this day. Like some of the like I don't know, man, that whole X division was just like so good. But Christopher Daniels and the Fallen Angel gimmick, and I just feel like he's one of the most underrated wrestlers that a lot of people don't know about. And even in AEW, as like he's like 50 almost, and he can still put on some good matches.
The only thing I like actually know about Christopher Daniels was he was almost the higher power.
That's probably what most people know him for if they look into any old booking plans.
Yeah, but that's all I got on that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. What are we at?
You don't have nothing, Robert?
Daniels is great. He's a great ring worker. He's got a great moonsault.
Yeah.
He was a huge part of the X Division, SCU. Later in his career was a big success in New Japan and the Indies. And
Would he make your top 50?
I don't know if he'd make my top 50.
So you are alone in this, Christian.
I figured I would be.
That's definitely a wild card pick that I don't know if I would have had.
Yeah. I mean, he's just one of those guys that, like, as a kid, just stuck with me over time. So.
And he never tried to do anything that was out of his range. Like even still, being as old as he is, he only does what he knows he can do. He doesn't try going too over the top to risk injuring himself.
That's fair.
That's exactly why I brought Robert in. Because I had nothing to add to any of that.
I think I'm going to probably be alone on the placement of this next guy. Don't get me wrong.
I feel like you've said that the last, like, 6 people.
Like I said, I feel like I knew our list would be very different. But number 33, I have Seth Rollins.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong, I like Seth. I don't know. I feel like he's a lot higher to a lot of people than he is for me. I feel like his best run was like 2015 Rollins. That's still my favorite Seth Rollins run. And I just feel like, for me, the cringy baby stuff and like, yeah, I kind of don't like his attitude backstage. It seems like he's like, I get he's good and he's like done a lot, but I feel like he kind of thinks he's better than everybody.
Are you done?
Yeah, that's all I'll say. Like, don't get me, I gave him his respect, I feel like, for me. Like, I enjoy watching him. I think he's got a good character. But, yeah.
All I have to say is, based on what you just said, if one guy is much higher than Seth, based on what you just said, I'm going to be so upset.
I already know what you're saying.
That's all I have to say.
I already know.
Anything, Robert?
All right.
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna wait.
Yeah.
This one was very hard for me because I wanted to put him higher, but I also feel like part of it is I don't know. I have Sammy here. I was like tough. Like, should I put him higher? Should I not? Because he did. But he honestly, like, I liked his NXT run, but he wasn't one of my favorite NXT guys. Like, I feel like I like him more on the main roster than I did in NXT. And I feel like that's kind of why he's not as high, was because, like, he didn't make both really good for me. He only made, like, a good main roster impression for me. Don't get me wrong, he had good matches in NXT, but I didn't really like his gimmick back then. He was just, like, a guy who gets beat up and rallies back.
I don't want to give too much away based on how I did, but I also had a really hard time ranking Sammy. He's in my top 50, but I had a hard time.
Yeah, I feel like, especially like with recent stuff, it's like so hard not to put him higher, just because it's like one of the best stories ever. But I couldn't let that like make too much of a judgment. All right, so that was. Oh no, I got one more. 31. 31. Yeah, another weird wishy-washy on this, but I have the Usos. But I feel like the Usos, you can't put them separate. You can't. I get Jay's made the main event thing, but like, come on. It's the Usos. I'm keeping them. I feel like it's like, especially since like
your camera froze at a really funny spot.
Yeah,
is it still froze?
Yeah, it's still froze.
That's my face for him breaking the rules.
Well, anyway, I wasn't too big of a fan of the Usos before, like 2015, but then like the day one Usos, the like heel turn, they just like hit another level. Those freaking feuds with the New Days, like some of the best matches still like on my list. Like if we made a list of matches, they would definitely be on there, like best matches. And then like this bloodline stuff. I get Jay. I feel like Jimmy's kind of had it unfair because he's been hurt like twice now during the biggest story ever, basically. But I feel like you need both of them for it to be this good, and I just feel like in ring and now they got their promos right. I feel like they have to be top 50.
We done?
Yeah.
All I have to say is, you said it's hard to rank them separately, but even Michael Cole knew way back then. No one wants the best one, Jey Uso.
I know, it's like crazy to think that low key now. I feel like there might be some people that would say that.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I asked it. Did we tell you about that, Robert?
No.
So 2K15, I think it was. Pretty sure it's 2K15. We were like, playing a match and like Jey Uso was in it. We picked like random, and Michael Cole was like, I asked a bunch of people in the back who's the one wrestler they'd be scared to face. You know who they said? Jey Uso. We were like, Jey Uso? What the
I feel
heck?
like I remember hearing that comment.
This
Yeah,
is faint
that was
face
like-
paint, Jey Uso, might I
this
add.
was before day one-ish and Uso Penitentiary. This was like baby face, like chubby Jey Uso.
Long hair,
Uh,
the
Yeah.
basketball shorts.
I still like
Doing
that's
the
like one of
hot
the
at the beginning in their entrance.
Yeah.
yeah. That's still like one of the funniest like moments ever because we were like Jey Uso, what the heck? So
If-
we're like out of pocket.
Since I didn't put the Usos on here, if I was to put them as a pairing, 30 is probably right-ish. I think they would make 30 to 20. But
Fair.
Shinsuke Nakamura, I feel like he's doing a little too much talking and not enough whooping, and that's kind of the problem with his character right now. And probably top 3 song of all time. That kind of plays a part for me in my ranking, but yeah, I love Shinsuke, man. It's Asian bias, but I don't care. 39, huh?
He's on my list already. He is on my list.
Controversial opinion. I like his I like his heel song better.
That is
I did
controversial.
like that one.
I do
What?
like
Yeah.
that song, but I don't like it better, I will say.
That's why I'd say it's controversial. I prefer that one over his just pure instrumental face music.
But Robert has a bias, and
Yes,
come on, go ahead, say it. You can say it. It's a safe space.
I like metal.
He
I
likes
like
songs
Japanese
that have
metal.
lyrics better than
No.
instrumentals. All right, let's move on with that. 39. Since we can do teams, it would. I'm putting the entire NWO at 39 because Scott Hall is carrying that entire group.
Your pick is Scott Hall.
Yeah, 39 is Scott Hall. But I don't know. To me, just looking, Scott Hall is like the coolest looking wrestler. And as dumb as that sounds, he just like is cool. I know that shouldn't really qualify for a top 50 list, but I love his finisher too. The move Damian Priest is hitting right now. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Jackknife.
Is that what it's called?
No,
Jack?
That's
Kevin Nash.
Oh,
The-
Razor's Edge.
Yes,
Yeah.
Razor's Edge. That is the move. The whole riding in the convertibles was cool. That's just the word I keep using for Scott Hall. He was cool. He really changed the business too with getting out of the whole like gimmick thing, going over to WCW. So I'll give him credit for that. You guys are probably both about to like get mad about this, but again, only saw him in WWE. 38.
Before you say this, Christian gave a lot more time to interject than you have been giving.
That's true. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm cool with Razor. He's not on my list, but you know.
Maybe you had a camera, Robert, and I could see if you were about to say something. I'm just looking at Christian's face. It doesn't look like he's about to say anything. So I just... Did you have anything, Robert? Scott Hall?
No, he was. A lot of what he did was before I was really watching wrestling. So I have a little bit of memories from him doing some stuff in Impact, and that's just about it. And then his legend appearances on Raw and whatnot.
It's funny you mentioned Impact because my number 38 guy tore him up to shreds on Impact, Samoa Joe.
He's fat!
Really great song. I'll probably start off everything by that. Can kill anybody on the mic. What he destroyed Jeff with that quick second, with that quick pretend this is an AA meeting and shut up. That is awesome.
Hey, do me a favor. Why don't you act like this is an AA meeting and you shut your mouth while I'm sharing with the crew?
I mean, for a split second, I was watching his stuff, but obviously this man will never make my top 50, 100, 150, 200 list. When he was talking to Karrion Kross and Karrion couldn't hold up his end to me, I just I just didn't care, so I stopped watching the highlights on YouTube. But yeah, so Samoa Joe almost brought me back to NXT, but just working with a bub. I said
Okay,
it.
but that was like Joe's second run in NXT.
I know what you mean, but I was just saying that's how much I like Joe for a little bit.
Okay.
Anything, Robert?
I assume Joe's gonna be higher on Christian's list. I don't think he's been mentioned yet, so I'll just wait and give my 2 cents then.
All right.
I think I would put him a little bit higher.
It's fair. I'm not opposed to it. It's just such a short run, in WWE that I felt bad putting him over some of these guys.
That's exactly what I said going into this. Those perspectives are gonna make wrestlers look a whole lot different.
37. I feel like this is pretty fair for me because there was only like a 5-year window where I thought this man was like really cool, but not like great, and that is CM Punk.
Wow.
I like Punk. Kind of seems like it'd be hard to book him though, because like I don't know how happy I can maintain him. Like I
Okay,
feel
wait,
like
was this the guy you were joking about with Seth? It was someone else, wasn't it?
it was CM Punk I was talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about something else, but okay, fair.
But again, like I like CM Punk. He's controversial, which is good. But like, I feel like if I gave him like the thing he says, what he wished he main evented a Mania, it would be something else that bothered him after I gave that to him. So like, I respect him. He's good, but 37 is probably where I'd put him. Anything?
Fair. I mean, I kind of knew he wouldn't be too high on your list.
He's in my top 37. You got anything?
I don't know
Robert?
where I would put Punk. I don't know if I would put him around here, maybe a little lower or higher. I've said it before. I think I understand why people like him, but I think he's overrated. I liked his initial straight edge ECW and early SmackDown run better. I liked his
Better now.
This Fire Burns. I liked his This Fire Burns song better than Cult of Personality. He's actually made me dislike that song because now every time I hear that song, it makes me think of CM Punk instead of Guitar Hero 3.
I do have one more thing. CM Punk, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view where he beat Cena for the title, that is the only time I ever bought a pay-per-view replay. Because I couldn't believe it when I read that online. The good old days, reading the pay-per-views online. And I was like, dude, I got to see what happened. And that's actually one of my favorite pay-per-views of all time. So I'll give him that. Moving on from there, 36. And I think he will shoot up a little higher, but not too much by the end of his career. Finn Balor. Finn's another guy who I'm always interested in, but just happens to get hurt at the bad time. I don't love the demon stuff that much. It was cool for a little bit, but it kind of got old. This Judgment Day stuff, I think, is his best work. For me, at least. And I hope they don't break up the group. And I don't want to talk about Finn too long, so do you guys have anything else?
I feel like he's only really been injured once.
It was a terrible time, though. So you're fair. That's fair. But it was a terrible time.
Yeah, it was a terrible
That
timing.
it wasn't really his fault though.
I mean,
Like it wasn't like he's just like injury prone or something. Like Seth
Yeah.
literally threw
Alright.
him wrong.
he went back down to NXT, and I was counting that as like it wasn't an injury, but I stopped seeing him. So it just
I
got
actually
grouped
kinda
in.
like that.
But I didn't see it.
Well, yeah.
I
We'll
didn't.
say more. I'll say more about it.
So yeah, 36 for Finn. 35, my first woman, I think. Lita. I'm not gonna lie, thought Lita was a trash bag as a kid. But looking back on it now, Lita was pretty good, and she was very revolutionary for the woman. Even her stuff with S.A. Rios, I think, is cool. Yeah, I like Lita. Yeah. Anything?
I'm
Got an
part of
awesome
the.
song.
I feel like I liked her way more as a kid, just because I was like, whoa, like she's hot. But like now rewatching it, low key, she's ass. She botches so much, and the Hardy Boys with her, like the whole Hardys in general, they couldn't cut a promo to save their life.
Yep.
I don't know. It's like the opposite for me. Like I said, thought I did not think highly of Lita as a kid, but
Yeah.
I don't know. When I watch her back now, I think I like her a lot better, and I think she looks better even, which is weird. But go ahead. 34. That man, that myth, Kofi Kingston. SOS.
Okay.
He hears them shouting, bro. That's such a good. I mean, like we were saying earlier, if the New Day didn't exist, I think he'd be like down in Dolph Ziggler territory, Cesaro territory. I think he'd be like down in that area. But like since the New Day happened, and he's my like favorite member of the group, and up, down, down, he's like hilarious on there. That Kofi 34, he'll probably always be in my top 50 until I die. But 34 is good for me.
Fair.
I think that Kofi's great. I think he's had the most tag team championship wins with the most different tag team partners.
Big
That's
Show
kind of
might
a
have
cool
a argument
accolade.
about that.
Yeah, it'd probably be really close.
I feel like Cena has more than you think too.
Tag team titles?
I remember him winning the tag titles once.
Cena?
Yeah, with Shawn.
He won him with what's his name, Justin Gabriel. He won him with Shawn.
It was David Otunga, by the way.
Okay, whatever. Freaking The Miz.
When were they tag
Miz,
champions?
Otunga, Batista, and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Batista? Jesus.
And Seth too. Seth had a lot.
We're off topic here. Anything else on Kofi Kingston?
No.
I once again, before I knew the rules, grouped the New Day together. So if it was just Kofi, he'd probably be around here too.
Okay, right. 33. I think
We had 5 different tag team partners.
Oh wow.
Man, I would have thought it was higher than that.
Oh, 6.
33. The Miz.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have
I want to put him
quiet on the
higher,
set?
but like Christian said earlier, the hate in my blood is strong for that man as a kid. But I don't know. The Miz was always good, but the way I always see him was like a discount Chris Jericho. So like
Wow, I've never heard it put like that.
that's just how I felt when he was like tag champs with Big Show. I was like, well, Jericho did that first, and like his U.S. run is kind of like Jericho's IC run. He's wearing suits and stuff. That's kind of what Jericho. That's just how I like look at the Miz. But the Miz is a different person than Jericho. I don't want to get twisted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah. But I've said my business about the Miz. So.
Yep.
32. And I'm pretty sure you guys aren't gonna like this, or at least Christian might not like this. But had he not just come back, he would probably been in that honorable mentions list. Maybe I wouldn't have even mentioned him. But I did love this gimmick, Stardust, Cody Rhodes. I got at 32. And
as much as I like Cody, like especially now, he's not on my list.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, he's popping right now, but I didn't want to like push him really high because of right now. So like 30.
That's where I'm at. Like, cause I'll admit I did not like him back then, so I couldn't put him on the list.
I liked Stardust. I liked him more than Ted DiBiase in Legacy, and then I liked the mask thing when he broke his nose. But all that being said, he wouldn't have made my top 50 based on those.
Fair.
Anything, Rob?
I think Cody Rhodes might have made it in my top 50. More so because I respect how hard he worked to build himself up. There's not very many people that leave WWE, actually make a name for themselves, and then come back as big as he did. And he's improved a lot since his original run. So,
Has he improved a lot wrestling or on the mic?
both.
I don't know. I thought Stardust was a pretty good wrestler, guys.
Say that to Cody Rhodes, and I'm sure he'll punch you in the face.
The wrestling wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but he definitely made a lot of improvements.
All he does now that's different is a diamond cutter.
No, just like the flow of his matches are way better.
He might put them together better, but like the actual wrestling wise isn't like better.
His storytelling in the ring is a lot better.
That's fair. 31. This is like my first crush ever, so whatever. I know you guys are gonna like it. Trish Stratus, 31. Love Trish. We'll always love Trish. Don't care what you guys say. Fight me.
I mean, I feel like you've known I'm not the biggest Trish fan. So once again, just one that never did it for me.
She's kind of like, for me, she's kind of like what Christian said about Lita, and I agree with Lita. Everyone looks back and says about how like revolutionary and great they were. They were at the time compared to everybody else, but that doesn't mean they were necessarily good then either.
That's fair. But I'm still living in the moment of when I can't go
Sounds like you're
back
living
and
in the
watch
past.
it. I'm bringing that past to the moment. But yeah, all I have to say is nothing. Go ahead, Christian.